Haunted by the failure of the Great Leap Forward, Mao was fighting to maintain his domination of China. In 1966, he launched the Great Cultural Revolution.
He failed to bring about an economic miracle, so in 1966 he wanted a political miracle. He not only wanted to get rid of his enemies, he wanted to do something that Stalin had been unable to do: destroy government world
The Mao personality cult did not come to full blossoming until the Cultural Revolution, when he became the so-called Four Greats: the great leader, great helmsman, great supreme commander, great teacher. He has replaced Stalin, and Beijing has become the center of world revolution.
On October 1st, 1966, National Day, the rallies with Mao reached their most extravagant level.
The peasants alarmed over their crops, the doctors before an operation, the seamen in their morning prayers to the great helmsman, the children instead of playing and laughing, the soldiers while on the march or resting, or when visiting their families. Everywhere this little red book is essential.
这是一所半工半读的聋哑学校，多么天真烂漫的孩子啊！他们多数是贫下中农的子女，他们对伟大领袖毛主席无限热爱。可是，他们有耳听不到毛主席的声音，他们变成了聋哑人，是叛徒、内奸、公贼刘少奇，是城市老爷卫生部。是那些资产阶级的反动医学权威，把聋哑说成是不治之症。要使聋哑人讲话，除非铁树开花。孩子们的发声器官都很正常，为什么他们不能讲话呢？医疗队带着治疗中的问题，反复学习毛主席的光辉著作《实践论》和《矛盾论》。他们分析，聋和哑到底哪个是主要矛盾？从调查中发现，多数学生是在2、3岁时因病引起的聋哑。他们认为，聋是主要矛盾，哑是聋。
Millions of young people were recruited to be Mao's Red Guards. Their idealism was exploited to create mayhem and to destroy every vestige of the past.
What did they know of Mao Zedong's real intentions? From where did such religious fanaticism come? Such blind readiness to destroy the party and state apparatus, to disorganize the world order? No, they are not revolutionaries, and they knew nothing of the insidious plans of the Maoists. Their hysteria was artificially incited, otherwise the mock cultural revolution would not have taken place. Millions of youngsters were simply hoodwinked, and the Chinese people could only silently criticize their views.
Party officials, intellectuals, people with foreign connections, former businessmen, millions were paraded and beaten in public. It is estimated that at least 400,000 people were killed.
We called him Secretary Zhang. He was the secretary at the State Farm where my mother had worked. We all knew him when we were children. Once he dragged me by the ear for hundreds of yards. The side of my head got all swollen. He treated his subordinates very badly. When the Cultural Revolution came, the Red Guards and workers dragged him out to struggle with. He was not treated nicely because he'd been so mean to people. He was forced to kneel on the ground, on sand, broken stones, and glass for more than 2 hours. He knelt with a heavy board hanging from his neck. It had his name written on it, with red crosses through it. That's how someone who was going to be shot was treated. The board was hanging on a very thin wire, so after 2 hours, blood oozed out on the wire and dripped down. He was over 50, or close to 60, and he was struggled against many, many times because people really hated him.
During that time, for school, we don't have the mathematics, we don't have the chemistry, we don't have the history, we don't have the biology. We only have 2 subjects to study. One is the fundamentals for industry. One is the fundamentals for the agriculture. So we learn how to. We only learn how to make difference between different vegetables. Yeah. So that is Cultural Revolution. I just think it is very bad memory because I didn't study a lot. I didn't get much knowledge. Besides remember that in the Cultural Revolution when the Cultural Revolution started, when I was in the middle school, we don't have the teachers. Because most teachers were sent to work, to educate themselves from a neighboring. Okay, so we have the only Red Guards as the instructor. That is Red Guards 2 years or 3 years older than us to teach us, to lead us to do the revolution. So these Red Guards are very bad because they usually taught us how to fight, how to criticize the others. And in school, always the students fighting because everybody thinks the fighting is normal. Okay, it's a revolution.
On the afternoon of Saturday, September the 18th, 1976, China stood still. Mao Zedong had died 9 days earlier from a rare disorder of the nervous system called Lou Gehrig's disease. His power over the Chinese people, for good and for ill, was equalled only by the greatest of China's founding emperors. With single-minded ruthlessness, he wrenched his subjects out of the somnolence of a medieval empire and transformed them into citizens of a modern nation-state. Yet amid these scenes of a grieving nation, few Chinese felt any personal sense of loss. They trembled out of fear of the unknown. Through all the turbulence of the previous decades, Mao had been the one constant in their lives.